Hello, and welcome to the presentation for the Health and Human Performance Academic Exploration Month. We're here to talk about programs in health promotion, kinesiology, therapeutic recreation, and recreation management. This program is designed for current Dalhousie students who may be looking to switch programs or who may just be looking for some elective options in their current program. Hopefully, we'll be able to give you some information today about all of those options. So I'm just going to go to the full screen of the presentation now. I'm Lindsay Curry. I'm one of two advisors in the program, and my colleague Heidi Tracy Bailey is also here with us. Do you want to say hello, Heidi?
Hi, everybody. Glad you're here to join us.
Yes, thanks for checking us out. So our contact information is listed on this screen in case you do want to get in touch or you don't have time to watch the full presentation. Feel free to reach out via email. So we're going to be talking today about our school, which falls under the umbrella of health professions at Dalhousie. So of course, there are other programs under health professions, and we make up 4 undergraduate programs and 3 master's programs. So we were founded in 1966. We have approximately almost 800 students now and approximately almost 5,000 alumni who are working all over the world in really exciting professions and careers now. Almost, 5 million in research funding, and we're now up to 37 faculty and staff. So we've been growing, even though we're still a fairly small school and really close knit as well. Our vision is physical and mental wellness for all. And so that's really the unifying theme that brings all 4 of our program areas together. Some of the things that make us unique are our focus on prevention and what's called an upstream approach. Again, kind of smaller programs and very applied programs as well. And we'll talk about that. So 3 of our programs have full-term internships built in. And 1 of our programs has practicum course options as well built in. Super active student body. Heidi's going to give some examples of some of the things our students are involved in across our school and across campus. Opportunities for research and honors programs, something called interprofessional learning, which we'll cover in a minute, and lots of great career opportunities and exploration opportunities throughout your program to really springboard you into amazing careers later on. So again, we have the 4 undergraduate programs: the Bachelor of Health Promotion, Bachelor of Science Kinesiology, Bachelor of Science Recreation, and Bachelor of Management dual degree program. So that is a unique 5-year option where you earn 2 degrees in 5 years, and then the Bachelor of Science Therapeutic Recreation. So a little bit about some of the structure. I mentioned already the built-in internships or practicum opportunities. All of our programs have approximately 30 credit hours of electives, so you do have some flexibility to choose courses outside of your major discipline. Now, most of our programs don't allow the major declaration option, like some of the more general degrees at Dal. Some programs, do have a minor option, and they all would have certificate options. So you just want to chat with Heidi or I, talk to an advisor about what those are specifically. And of course, there is an honors research option available in every program as well. A little bit more about the structure of our program. So like a lot of other degrees at Dal, our programs are mainly 120 credit hours. In the case of the dual degree, that's the 5-year degree, it's 150 credit hours for that degree, or those 2 degrees together. Internships are actually worth part of those credit hours, worth 15 credit hours or 5 courses. And so students do pay tuition, just like you would for 5 courses for your regular degree for that internship. Students in our program typically will take a max of 5 courses per term. So 5 in fall, 5 in winter, or 10 across the whole year. That's 3 credit hour courses. And we have something called, I mentioned already, interprofessional health education. So our students participate in this non-credit portfolio where they earn experiences through their degree. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Again, we talked about some of those ways to customize your degree, so you really can choose electives from some other areas across Dal, the certificates, and some minor options as well in certain programs. You can also refer to our program of study forms by year of entry on our website. So if you click on current students at the top of the website, and then under our undergraduate forms and handbooks for students, you'll find all of those details about how each program is laid out and the requirements for each program. And also note that those program forms do get updated every year. So we will have updated forms for the 22-23 year up there fairly shortly. So the IPHE that I mentioned, the Interprofessional Health Education Portfolio, is an opportunity to interact with students from across the rest of the health professions at Dalhousie. So other students in our school, but also it could be students from other health professions at Dal, like medicine, dentistry, nursing, etc. So students will register in these IPHE non-credit requirements every term, and they will complete these experiences that are focused on interprofessionalism, collaboration, team building, role clarification, as well as patient-centered care, so that, or client-centered care. So that's really the focus. They are pass-fail non-degree requirements. So some of these requirements are required in first year or as part of classes, and some would be done outside of class as mini courses or even some school experiences that we will offer. And you can find more information on the Interprofessional Health Education website at DAL and through our school website as well. So I'm going to pass it over to Heidi to talk a little bit more about student life and to introduce a couple of our programs, health promotion and kinesiology.
Thanks, Lindsay. So yeah, student life. I mean, some of you who are watching this may already be at Dal, so you may be familiar with a lot of student life on campus. If you happen to be outside of Dal right now, then obviously we have tons of opportunities available on campus between arts and entertainment and athletics and recreation, varsity sports, intramurals, fitness center, and I believe it's over 250 clubs and societies that we have at Dal. Volunteering opportunities, you name it. So we've got tons to offer at Dal, specifically a little more related to our school, as some of these images would show. You know, for health promotion, we have the Health Promotion Society, we have the Kinesiology Society, we have the Recreation Association. So if you're in one of these programs, you're automatically in whichever one of these groups is connected with your program. You'd also be a part of the Student Association of Health and Human Performance, which is SAPER, which is our overriding student association for the school. And then, of course, we do have places like the International Center for those who are joining us from international destinations, and the Dalhousie Student Union as well. So lots to get involved with for student life, that's for sure. So we're just going to go over each of our undergraduate programs right now. So I'm going to start and do the first two, and then Lindsay's going to follow up and talk about the other two. So I'm going to start with health promotion. So some really exciting changes happening in this program this year. It's unique in Canada, which it always has been, the way our program is set up, but we have a brand new curriculum starting this coming fall. So anybody that applies this year and starts next year or beyond, you're going to be following our brand new curriculum. So it's really exciting. It's been a while coming. They've been working on it for a long time, so it's fantastic. The other thing that's really new about the program as we're rolling it out next year, some more exciting news, is that we have achieved global accreditation through the International Union of Health Promotion Education. So this is fantastic because it really means that our program meets the rigorous standards and that our students are meeting the competencies that they should have to go out into the field of health promotion in wherever that happens to take them. So health promotion, it's a pretty broad title. So a lot of you may be wondering exactly what it is. So it really examines the social, structural, and commercial determinants of health, and it uses a population health approach. And really what they kind of want to do is create supports for actions and conditions of living conducive to the health of not just, groups and communities, but also at the individual level as well. So, and one of the really primary things about health promotion is that it kind of researches the root causes that help prevent illness and disease. So it's kind of digging back to find that cause so that they can then promote change to make those living conditions conducive to all those groups. So some sample classes, we're not going to go through these in detail, but if you happen to be watching this later, you can always pause and read through them. But a couple of new titles that we have in the new curriculum are Determinants of Health, Critical Approaches to Health Promotion, but there are a lot of really fantastic courses in this program. So this is just a small sample of those. What to expect in HPro, which many of you may be wondering. So you'll develop skills and competencies in writing, group work, teamwork. Critical thinking is a really key component. Program planning and assessment, also really important to those going out into this field. And some of the themes that you'll see throughout all of your coursework in the program, some of the four most common ones are harm reduction, equity, diversity, and inclusion, social justice and power dynamics, and community engagement and development. You'll see that as a theme running across the entire curriculum. So this slide just kind of shows some images. And again, I'm not going to go through these ones in detail, but it just kind of shows you a few of the different places where students have either gone on internship or have gone on to a career after graduation. And similarly, this slide kind of gives a little bit more detail. Again, I'm not going to go through in detail, but it actually shows some specific positions that our graduates have managed to obtain after they've graduated from our program. So you can kind of see a little bit of the variety in terms of all of the things that you can do with this degree. So the second program in our school that I'm going to cover is kinesiology. So many of you may be familiar with this one. It is the largest of all of our programs. We've taken about 150 per year. And at its core, it's really the science of human movement. And it really covers a lot throughout the curriculum on the structure and function of the human body. Maintenance and enhancement of physical and health and well-being, super key. And again, that's a theme that you'll see run throughout the curriculum. And it really kind of focuses on optimizing human performance across the spectrum. So it's not, some people may think that it's, dealing with, let's say, elite level athletes, but it's not. It's performance of any kind to any human. So another great thing about this program is that it's cross-disciplinary. So a lot of people may think that it's focused purely on sciences like anatomy, physiology, but we also include in the curriculum other social sciences. We have, things like psychology, we have sociology intertwined throughout, and courses like biomechanics and lots more. So it's a really well-rounded curriculum. So what to expect in Kines? It is definitely a science-based program. So there is an expectation that you will have a science background, and we'll get to more of that in a little bit. It's a really good size because it's kind of mid-range in programs across the country. So we're large enough that we have the benefit of having a lot of faculty members in different areas, different core areas, but we're also small enough, when compared to larger programs across the country that we do really get to know our students, and that's really similar in all of our programs. Students will take 4 intro kin courses right in year 1. So you kind of really jump right into the program from the get-go. We have tons of elective options. So students can really kind of tailor their curriculum a little bit to some other interests, beyond what they want to take in kin. We also have open electives where they can take some other courses outside of kin if they wish to do so. We have lots of hands-on classes. There are practicum opportunities throughout. And options for certifications. So, a couple of examples here, the certified personal trainer, registered kinesiologist, which is required in Ontario, for instance, and professional pathways. You'll have some options to do lots of interesting things with your kinesiology degree, and really broad career and post-grad opportunities. The variety of things you can do with this degree is a real benefit. So again, some sample classes from this program are listed here. And again, it's really just a sample. We have so many more than just this, but it just kind of shows a little bit of the breadth of different course areas that we have within our kinesiology program. And then practicums and senior seminars. So this is a sample of things. So our practicums are, contained in certain courses where you will actually get to do some hands-on work in that particular area. Our senior seminars are 4,000 level courses, and they really hone in on a very specific content area. And they're taught by our PhD level professors who do lots of research in that area as well. So you get some really great advanced content in those courses. And these are just a few of the examples of what we have. So careers, similar to HPro, this is just kind of a smattering of some actual, positions that our graduates have gotten after graduating from the kinesiology program. There are a couple here that require additional education and training beyond. So kin was the undergrad that some of these students took to then move on into the areas that you see toward the end of this list. But we wanted to kind of give a little bit of an idea of some careers you can get straight after kin, and then some other ones that you might consider if you choose to continue your studies beyond your undergraduate.
Perfect. Thanks, Heidi, for covering health promotion and kinesiology. So we're going to move on now to talking about our recreation programs. So we call it Recreation and Leisure Studies Division. And there are 2 programs in this division at our school. So we have the Therapeutic Recreation Program, which is a Bachelor of Science, and it's the 4-year degree program. And it's really focused on improving the quality of life of individuals through leisure, through recreation activities, in particular vulnerable populations. So there is also a focus on learning how to work with those populations throughout the degree. Students will graduate eligible to write the NCTRC exam to become a certified therapeutic recreation specialist. And so it is that professional designation at the end. And we're very proud to say that in the past 3 years, we've had 100% pass rate on that exam. So the national average is comparatively 81.6%. We've had 100. So our students perform really, really well on that exam. So very prepared to enter the workforce as a rec therapist, a certified rec therapist, I should say, which does open up other positions as well, in terms of job prospects. And we were also the first accredited university in the country to be accredited under CART, which is the accrediting body for therapeutic rec programs, which is also very exciting. Moving on to our second rec program, it's more of a combined degree as mentioned. So it's a Bachelor of Science, Recreation, and a Bachelor of Management in 5 years' time. So you do get some of the foundational coursework that therapeutic recreation students get, but then you also get a lot of the business aspects of leisure. And so you do the management courses alongside some specialized recreation management courses later on in that degree. And I'm going to give you some examples in a moment here. So you really do graduate with a super versatile degree that you can kind of take in any direction you want, or you can hone in on really specific positions in sectors like sports, tourism, even arts and culture. So it's a very broad, versatile degree. And we also just got accreditation for this degree through the accrediting body in North America. So we're doing really well with accrediting our programs in the past few years. So these are some sample classes in the therapeutic recreation program. So you can see the focus a little more on that therapeutic side of leisure, inclusivity, leisure education, program planning, working with those special populations. That last bullet refers to some of those populations that you might be working with as a therapeutic rec specialist. Whereas rec management, you do some of those foundational courses, but then you're moving on into things like financial management and fundraising, or entrepreneurship and special events, and the marketing and all of that stuff that goes along with the business side of leisure. These are some sample careers and internship placements or organizations, I should say, that have had students for internship or they've moved on into careers in these organizations. So very broad options from government to clinical settings to community settings. And similarly, recreation management. Again, you will see some sport themes throughout, but also community and clinical, special events kinds of placements. So some really exciting options. So what you'll experience in the rec programs at DAL in our school are small classes. So you will get to know your professors pretty well. In the therapeutic recreation program, we take about 40 to 60 students, and in the recreation management program, about 25. So, and then health promotion, I'm not sure if we said earlier, it's around, 40 to 60 again. So again, really small programs, lots of hands-on group project work, a big focus on working in the community as well, and really doing hands-on projects that have an impact in real life. We also have something called Rec-O, so recreation orientation, which kicks off our recreation programs at DAL, where students go and do an overnight camp, experience and get to know each other and their profs right from that first week of class. And of course, it's been online through COVID, but we're hoping to get back in person at some point. And then, of course, things like simulated learning through for therapeutic rec through our C3LR at Dalhousie. So lots of opportunities to practice your skills. Themes that run through these programs are things like diversity, equity, inclusion, much like health promotion, also theories of play, program planning and evaluation, leisure education, and again, that focus on community engagement and development. So again, we're not going to go into depth on each one. And in fact, these are actual jobs that were pulled from LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn account, you can go and search Dal alumni and you can find some of these people and possibly connect with them on LinkedIn. So these are actual jobs that our alumni have held or currently hold in therapeutic rec. And similarly in recreation management. So again, you can see the diverse range of sectors and different kinds of settings that, you know, students work in. What we do find, now that we've kind of covered across all of the program options, what we do find is that some students are still unsure. You know, they know that they're interested in health and helping people and community and all of those things that kind of run across all of our programs, you know, that prevention focus, but they're not quite sure where they fit. So this is just sort of a side-by-side at a glance that we're happy to share with you if you'd like to contact us as well. Just some of the highlights and features of each program kind of compared side to side that might help you determine what a pathway you might want to take or what program might be a good fit for you. And we're happy to talk through that further with you in an individual advising appointment. I'm going to pass it over to Heidi now to talk a little bit more about the admissions side of things.
Great. So this is a slide that a lot of you may be interested in, or this is the information that you're looking for. So we'll just cover some of the admission requirements here. So for health promotion, and we'll get to some transfer, if you're a transfer student, a potential transfer student, we'll get to that in a second. But overall, our regular admission requirements are for health promotion, you need to have a minimum 70 average with English as the only specific required course with a minimum grade of 70. Kinesiology, the minimum average is 75. And you are required to have English with a minimum grade of 70 and academic math with a minimum grade of 70. We also typically recommend bio or chem and physics, but not having those will not prevent you from getting into the program. If you have them, you're just maybe a little bit more prepared when you come in. So this is a very competitive program, Kin, and with all of our programs, you know, the minimums don't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get into the program. So just keep that in mind. Recreation management, the minimum overall average is 70%. You need to have English with a minimum of 70 and academic math with a minimum of 70. Therapeutic recreation, again, 70 average. The only specific required course for this program is English with a minimum of 70 as the grade. And for the two recreation programs, even though it's not specific to admission, we always encourage students coming into these programs to have some experience or participation in recreation activities. It will just benefit you when you're in the program. But again, if you don't, that will not prevent you from getting in or being successful in the program. It's just an added bonus. So transfer students. So the transfer students have to still meet the subject requirements that we went over on the prior slide. And that's either that they have those through high school or if they've done those through any college or university coursework. For transfer students, we don't look at that number average necessarily. We're looking at GPA, so a minimum of a 2.3 GPA to be considered for kinesiology. Minimum of 2.0 GPA is needed for health promotion and both recreation programs as of this fall. Prior to this fall, it was a 2.3, but we have made that adjustment. So that's great news for some of you potentially. And again, just meeting the minimum may not guarantee entry. So just always keep that in mind. So we do have an equitable admissions policy as well for all of our programs. And you can find more information on this on the website. We do have this policy posted on our school website. And in order to be considered under this policy for admission, you do have to self-identify on your application. So you will see on the application form that there is a self-identification checkbox. So just make sure that if you want to be considered under the policy, that you self-identify. And students who do self-identify and meet the listed requirements and deadlines are considered admissible. Preference is given to Atlantic Canadian residents or those who have a parent residing in Atlantic Canada. And up above, we do have the specific groups that are listed in our equitable admissions policy. So in terms of switching programs and applying transfer credits, if some of you are considering applying to one of our programs as a transfer student coming from another program, either within DAL or coming from another program and institution. So as an internal transfer credit, an internal transfer student from DAL, you would apply just via the regular admission process, just like when you originally applied to DAL. The only difference is that this time you're selecting that you are applying as a transfer student. We have the same applicant pool. So we don't have any specific number of students, seats that are designated as transfer or as compared with from high school. So everybody's kind of in the same pool, and it is a rolling admissions process. So as the applications come in, acceptances are going out. We don't wait until a certain date and then start the admission process. So that's already underway. We only have fall intake for all of our undergraduate programs. So, and even though the deadline isn't until June 1st for all of our programs, we do recommend that if you are interested that you apply as early as possible because it is competitive and we only have so many spots. All of our programs are limited enrollment. So internal transfer credits, if you do get into one of our programs and you accept your offer and you come in, well, we can already see your internal transfer credits on your DAL record, and they're just going to be applied to your new program as applicable. But it is important to meet with one of your advisors, either me or Lindsay, and we can completely assist with letting you know exactly where, what can count, where it's going to count towards your degree, and then we can help you with a course plan to map out what the rest of the degree will look like. External transfer students, so if you're coming from another institution, once you're accepted, there is an actual process to go through to have your transfer credits from your other institution assessed, and when those equivalencies come back, how they can be applied to your degree. So it is a little bit of an extra step that takes a little bit of extra time. So just make sure that you apply early, again, if you're an external transfer student, just to get the ball rolling on that a little bit sooner than later. So really that's the majority of what we have to share today. So if you want to learn more, you can absolutely visit our website, dal.ca/HAHP, which again stands for Health and Human Performance, our school name. We'll also have some career information posted on the AEM website, the Academic Exploration Month website. So if you just want to kind of cruise through that to see a little bit of information, some alumni bios, which are really interesting, then absolutely make sure that you tune into that. You may have the ability, if you want, to sit in on a class in one of the programs that we have here. So that's pending availability because it may depend on when you're available and what class is going on and in what kind of structure, whether it's online, in person, or etc. So you can just connect with one of us and we can assist you with that if you're interested in sitting in on a class. And last but not least, if you have any questions at all, just make sure that you get in touch with one of us. Our contact information is right there. My email is htb@dal.ca and Lindsay's is lindsay.curry@dal.ca. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you might have about anything related to our undergraduate program. So please feel free to get in touch.
Yeah, and I'll just add one final comment that if you were just looking to take a class in our school, most of our courses are restricted, but there are definitely there's a list of open courses, and we're happy to share those with you. There's also some listed under the minor in health studies for Faculty of Arts and Science students. So if you were looking just to take a course to try it out, this term or for next fall or something, you could also check out the list of open courses in our school. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm just going to stop my screen share here and then stop the recording and we'll say goodbye, but do let us know if you have any questions. See you
Hope
later.
to see you next year.
Exactly.